With Nickelodeon's recent announcement of Avatar Studios, the possibility of a sequel to Avatar The Last Airbender seems increasingly likely. For years, fans have wanted to see the further adventure of Team Avatar. The subsequent comics and The Legend of Korra have given us a glimpse, but it seems like a direct sequel series could be on the horizon. While we'd likely see new adversaries, there is the possibility that we could see one notable face return, or should we say multiple faces. So yes, today we'll be talking about how Koh The Face Stealer could return in an Avatar sequel. There's no way anyone watched the original series and could ever forget the small but memorable appearance of Koh The Face Stealer. It easily holds up as one of the creepiest moments in the entire show. For a quick refresher, we meet Koh when Aang goes to the spirit world in the finale of the first season. Roku sends Aang to find Koh, as he's the only spirit old enough to possibly help him find the moon spirits. He warns Aang that he must not show any emotion when confronting Koh, as he will, you guessed it, steal his face. During the confrontation, Koh tries to intimidate Aang by showing the various faces he's stolen over the years, and even reveals that this is not the first time they met. In one of Aang's past lives, Koh stole the face of Avatar Kuruk's fiancée Umi of the Southern Water Tribe. This is elaborated more when Aang seeks advice from Kuruk during Sozin's comet, and explained as happening due to the lack of attentiveness Kuruk gave as the Avatar. He's shown to be able to switch faces at will, almost to reflect whichever emotion he currently feels or to simply intimidate victims. Koh is an interesting character because, while clearly showing a villainous nature, he was willing to help Aang by providing the whereabouts of the moon spirits. The appearance was small, but definitely made a lasting impression. If it wasn't for the amicable circumstances Aang met him under, that encounter could have gone very differently. If this figurative story were to happen, there are a few existing indications about when it could take place in the timeline. In the last few years, a series of comics were released following the gang directly after the events of the finale, and I mean directly after, as in after Aang and Katara kiss outside of Iroh's tea shop. Since these comics have been confirmed as canon, any new story would likely have to take place after that. While it could take place later down the line, maybe not as far back as the flashbacks in Legend of Korra, I feel like everyone would agree that they'd want to see the young gang together again. Naturally, having this era as the backdrop would indicate the origins of Republic City, and we could see how the team contributes to its development. As many would recall, at the end of Aang's encounter with Koh, he did say that they'll meet again. Officially, that meeting was said to have taken place when Azula shot Aang with lightning in the Crossroads of Destiny. Hardcore fans may be aware of an online game it's called Escape from the Spirit World, in which Aang fell into a deep slumber after being shot by Azula. In it, players must answer questions by Koh, and if answered incorrectly, he will steal Aang's face. However, this game is no longer accessible, and it's never explicitly referenced in the show. As a result, many fans are most likely unaware that this even took place, and gives us some incentive that they could meet again in a sequel. By the end of the series, there are few adversaries that would be able to physically challenge Team Avatar. As shown towards the finale, they've each gone on to become the most powerful benders in their respective elements. Not to mention that Aang had learned the ability to take bending away from people. I mean, honestly, how do you beat that? To have Koh as the antagonist for a sequel would be a different sort of threat that the team had not yet experienced. While the group had faced spiritual threats before, nothing was truly in the realm of what Koh is capable of. This is not an enemy that you can simply defeat through bending. He also remains to be a mystery at this point in time, as we don't know much about his origin or his motives. The only thing that we really know is that the character has a sort of predatory instinct. As a result, it's possible that under the right or the wrong circumstances, he could have reason to travel beyond the spirit world. It remains to be seen what could cause this. Simply having that creepy centipede unleashed on the four nations would be catastrophic. He wouldn't be the first, as we've seen spirits on numerous occasions across the franchise. However, it wasn't until Korra that we got to see what a truly malevolent spirit is capable of in Vaatu. Considering that Koh was described by Roku as one of the oldest spirits in the spirit world, chances are he's amongst the most powerful as well. We never got to see the true extent of his abilities, assuming it wouldn't only be face stealing. One of the great aspects of the Avatar world is that there's a lot of implied lore, which has a lot of opportunity to be expanded on. This would be a perfect chance to flesh out an intriguing character while using him as a worthy antagonist. Speaking of spin-offs, I've always wondered if they would ever showcase the next Avatar in the cycle after Korra. It would be someone in the Earth Kingdom, and it could even be far enough in the future that it almost reaches the present day. I don't know how I'd feel about benders with smartphones, but it's definitely an interesting thought.